I probably could have used it, honestly, just to get a little more prepared. And so the reason I say that is because if you guys weren't prepared by the time you got to this place, this is the perfect opportunity to get prepared, guys. I didn't have something like this. I had a little bedroom at my brother's house, and I worked 80 hours a week from the time I got out. I want to ask a question before I get started about my trip through all this, guys. Is who here's been to prison? I know that seems like a weird question, right? Because I know you all have been to prison, right? Every single person in here's been to prison?
No.
Who has? You guys? But you guys are here, you guys see what's going on, right? You guys understand that you guys are coming into a whole different world, right? This is the free world, and where you were, you can drive by it on the freeway and it's gone. I know it seemed big when we were in there. In fact, I tried to make it as big as humanly possible. You know, I was talking about macro and microeconomics of a prison yard while I was in there, and trying to see what I can do to adjust all the economy on the yard and everything else. Who else was involved in that kind of stuff? Yeah, it was neat. It's a neat experiment, right? Because it's mathematics and it's what happens out here, but in there, we're like this big old huge world that people are driving by saying, what is that, a sewer plant? They don't even know what it is, guys. That's how small it is. So keep it there. Who's still in prison? Who in this room feels they're still in prison? Honesty, man, that's good. That's good, that's good. Now let's be honest, who really still feels like they're in prison? It's kind of weird, huh? It's hard to get out of there, right? And it's hard to start doing things where you don't have like a collective of people telling you what time to eat breakfast, when the yard's open, when you can go to yard, when you can't because some asshole didn't show up for work so they can't open the yard. You guys, who remembers those days?
Yeah.
How pissed did we get that the guy didn't show up so we don't get to go to yard, right? Fucking sucks. You know, 17 years I've spent in there, started working out at my first week, and when I didn't get my yard time, I went fucking nuts in there. Because that's my medicine. It's still my medicine to today. I still work out. Me and my wife, we have a gym at the house. We spend time in that gym. We also have gym memberships at multiple gyms, so we never miss. You know, I'm not saying we never miss because that would be inhuman, but we try. You know, we do the best we can. The reason why I brought up who's still in prison is because it's hard to get out of there. And most people don't understand the term, it's easier going in than it is getting out, right? Because it seems like they just open the gate and let you go out, right? But it is easier to go into prison than it is to get out of prison. Who agrees with that? And because it comes with fears and all that other kind of stuff, right? And I'm a pretty tough guy. I was a tough guy in prison. I know there's some tough individuals in this room, and it doesn't matter how tough you are, it's still scary. It's still scary getting out, right? Who feels scared? Who feels apprehensive about their future? It's fair. It's fair. So, you know, we were having a conversation with our 11-year-old on the way here. He's fucking up. Totally fucking up. To the point, he's my stepkid. But I've raised him since I've been out of prison. And we try to instill in him something very simple that we all know, right? You get what you put into it, right? So you guys have 90 days here, right? Is it 90 days? Yeah. So you guys have 90 days with your toe in the freedom, right? So you can see it. You can see all these people going back and forth to work, and you guys have your toe in the freedom. Your family can come. You can do all this stuff. If you don't have family, you have people around you, you know, that can be there for you. You have this whole place here. Most people didn't have all this. So just guys, if you do anything, whatever you put into this 90 days is what you will get out of it, right? It's a universal law, guys. It's what you put into it is what you get out of it, right? So my story is kind of like this. I got out. My brother gave me a job. I got out on the 28th, and it was leap year, so I started working the 29th of February. That day I worked 12 hours, and I was like, shit, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, but I was making $15 an hour under the table as a plumber, and I tell these guys all the time, there's not a plumber in Arizona that's only making $15 an hour right now. I hire plumbers every day, and the minimum I hire them for is $25. And so I got out, kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball, $15 an hour cash under the table, which I advise you guys to never take that deal. Never take cash under the table. Get paid on the books. Very important reason why. I'll go over that later. So I worked, but I always listened to my dad's voice echoing in my mind. He used to always say, just work with a smile like you love it, even if you hate it. It makes it a lot easier, guys. And the other thing is that, and my wife shares this sentiment too. If you show up, if you're supposed to be there at 6 in the morning and you're there at 6 in the morning, you're fucking late. You're late, guys. Be there before everybody gets there. Because you know who sees that? The guy that writes the paychecks. And every single thing is negotiation in this world. Everything that you do, you're selling people. Every single thing you do, the way you're sitting, if you don't set up straight, I don't think you're confident. I might not look at you twice to hire you. So everything you do, when you shake my hand, if it's not firm enough or if it's too firm, so everything is about selling everybody. Negotiations are happening all the time. Right now I'm negotiating with you guys to save your future, right? We're having a negotiation. You guys didn't even know that was going to happen today, right? You guys are looking at me. I'm looking at people look away. I'm looking at people that are peering through me because they want the answer to their future. You know what I mean? We're negotiating. We're negotiating. The best negotiation to do is one where you can make money, right? So if you show up 15 minutes early every day and you're just out there sweeping in front of the shop or whatever you guys end up doing, or you're just pulling the tools out and your tools are already pulled out and you're sipping your coffee waiting for direction, well, I know what I'm going to do as a business owner. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep my eye on you, and as soon as I have the ability, or as soon as you've been there long enough, you're getting the raise. There will be no question. Your negotiation was strong, right? Who agrees with that? Who agrees that that's pretty easy to do, right? If you're supposed to be there at 6, change your start time to 5:30. Change your start time in your mind to 5:30. Calculate all your waking up and everything, eating and everything to where 5:30 is your start time. So guys, I worked for my brother for about 4 years, right? Any of you guys could probably hear the stories from my wife about how terrible that was on my fucking life. I mean, my brother and I, it was just nonstop at each other. I'm a left-hander, he's a right-hander. He's a fucking great, hardworking guy, has great work ethic. He got out of prison, was digging ditches for a plumbing company. The guy came out, saw him digging ditches. He said, "You're not a ditch digger," because he was working so hard. The guy pulled him right out of a trench and said, "I'm going to teach you how to manage this company," and now he owns that company. Guys, this shit happens every day. What was my brother doing in the hole, guys? What do you guys think he was doing? Negotiating, smiling, and he was selling himself. I'm the hardest worker in the hole. There was other guys in the hole. Nobody remembers those guys. And nor has anybody seen those guys since then. Right? Why? Because they disappear. When you don't sell yourself and you don't negotiate properly, you lose the interest of the people that you're negotiating with, right? Or you're trying to sell, right? If you're selling a car and the thing's a piece of shit, I'm going to go on to the next car. That's it. I'm not interested, right? So that's what it is, right? So, and your product is what? You. It's you guys. That's your product, right? And so, to go on about the story, I worked for my brother my first year. I didn't negotiate any pay because I was like, okay, I'm learning, right? Between the people that I was meeting, the network, all the old plumbers that I would call and still call to this day to learn stuff, I was learning. So I was like, that's not bad, $15 an hour to learn. And you guys are all in that situation right now. So no matter what they pay you starting, you're learning. I don't care if you were a plumber for 27 years and you come out to this world and you plumb today, you're learning. Because shit's way different, right? Everything's high tech now, everything's different, right? There's a different way to do all that shit. So you're getting paid to learn. So whatever you're making, and to be perfectly honest with you, everybody in this room is going to fall between $16 and $20 an hour. That's the stats on that, right? That's where we're going to start, guys. So set your mind for that, right? Set your mind for that. And don't set your mind too low, and don't set your mind too high, right? If you set your mind too low, guess what? you'll get it. You'll get exactly what you have your mind set on making. So I worked for my brother for the second year, and when I got done with that year, I felt like I was doing the things that journeyman plumbers are doing. Veteran plumbers. Because I worked very hard, and I was working a lot of hours. I probably averaged, 80, maybe 100 hours a week. I was always working. I met Sherry the month I got out on St. Patrick's Day. Sherry was about 10 days from being homeless. She had just moved into her mom's place. She was 7 days sober. And we really didn't even go out on dates because I was working. And I was working on me, more importantly. And she was working on her. And we both had those rules. And she still, to this day, has that rule. And so do I. Hey, I'm working on me right now. And sometimes it's not always one of those things where you're like, okay, go ahead and work on it. Because like when she's like, I'm going in the gym, watch the baby. Okay, fuck. I wish I would have thought of going to the gym first. so look, guys. I negotiated my second year because I thought, okay, I have sold myself. I have negotiated for 24 months, and so I went into their office and I looked him right in the eyes. My brother and his partner. My brother stepped out because he said conflict of interest. So the original owner of the company sat across the desk. Now that's a guy that has 40 years in the business, and he was a CPA, so he understands numbers. And I said, what did I make for the company this year? And he said, well, the jobs that you completed was $1.6 million worth of work. Me and helpers, right? Because I'd become a plumber in a year. I'd never been into plumbing. I was like, fuck plumbers, you know what I mean? And so $1.6 million, and I said, I'm worth 10% of what I make the company. And he goes, I don't know. And I said, okay, I'm worth 8.5% of what I make the company. And we agreed on that. He said, I agree with that. I said, okay, I want $100,000 a year moving forward. And what did he do? He gave me $100,000 salary. I didn't even have to work 80 hours anymore to make that money. I just had to show up, right, whenever they needed me. And why wouldn't I? I'm making $100,000. So my third year, I said, okay, I got to step it up. I need to get some certifications. I was always in school, right? I need to get some certification. I need to show them what nobody else has ever showed them before. I need to be on time. I need to get jobs done. I need to kind of push and sell jobs, which was kind of frowned upon at that company because they like to do all that. But I was selling, I'd go out to do one shower valve at a assisted living place, and I'd sell 270 shower valves. And they'd be like, well, when are we going to do those? I said, I don't know. Let's do 4 every Thursday until they're done, And so we did 4 every Thursday. So to the tune of $190,000 or some crazy madness, you know what I mean? So they were like, okay, this guy's this and this, So the third year I went and I'd been selling myself, right? I've been negotiating. Without really talking, I was negotiating. Because by my actions, I was saying, this is kind of what I think. By my actions, I was saying that. And they weren't saying anything because they don't want to negotiate more, but the proof's in the pudding. They got to pay, right? I'm telling you guys this because a lot of people get out or go to jobs in general. Don't get out. They go to a job and they do a job for $18 an hour, and then the next year rolls around and they're totally dependable. They do everything right. They do more than their job because they're so bored with the little job that they started because they got so good at it that they just keep doing $18 an hour and never say nothing. Or they just complain to somebody, which is not negotiation, by the way, guys. Complaining to another employee is not negotiation, and it never will be negotiation. So if you're a complainer, you're rocking the boat, so to speak, right? Because you're a cancer, right? So the negotiation my third year, I went in there and I said, listen, I think I'm worth another $42,000. And I said, I get that number because I broke down everything I did this year because now I figured out how to do the math on what I've done. And now I broke it down to where, and I said, and also I have all these certifications, and no plumber at any other company that I know of has all of these certifications, And I said, so I need another $42,000. And I got it. I got the $42,000. So now I'm making $142,000 fresh out of a 17-year prison sentence. working for a plumbing company that I started at $15 an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So, I only tell you guys this. I only tell you guys this because know your worth, right? You guys been told that your whole life, right? You guys been told know your worth your whole life. So anyway, as time went on, this whole time, guys, 4 months out of prison, I started this little property services business. Now it's a big home services business that has 5 licenses. I'm partners on a plumbing company that does $9 million a year. I own an HVAC company. I own another plumbing company that I just bought like the day I left here. Speedy had me so freaking worked up. I bought a plumbing company the next day after I left here because me and him are going back and forth. I'm like, you guys got me so fucking fired up. I want to do something because I'm saying I'm doing it, right? So I want to do it. I want to do it. So I bought that plumbing company. We just made an offer last week on another HVAC company or mechanical company that's been in business since 1959. These are all things I've never done in my life. Because I was a fucking poor kid, counting pennies with my family, stealing and robbing and doing all the stupid shit that got me in prison the whole time, guys, and just being a fuck up, right? And so I'm learning all this stuff, and the reason I say that is because I have all the learning disabilities that everybody else does, right? But I found my way of learning stuff, and you got to do the same. I can't tell you what your way is. You guys can't tell me what mine is. I know what mine is now. I learned by doing. And I fail and I fail and I fail and I tell my wife, I'm like, fuck, this sucks. I fucking feel like, whatever. And then I realize I said feel about 8 times in a sentence, and I'm like, fuck feel, right? Because feel doesn't do nothing facts do, right? So part of this, you guys, is I wake up and we say it all the time to each other, and we're like, and we say it to ourselves too, like we're so grateful, right? Because first of all, I had told myself and wrote in my Go Home book. I had a Go Home manual that I wrote, right? Sobriety manual. One of those things was do not get with a girl that does drugs, smokes, drinks, blah, blah, blah. There was a whole list. And Sherry did all of those things, right up until I met her. And then she quit all of those things. As we were starting our relationship, I said, hey, I don't like smoking, I don't like this, I don't like that, this and that. And she's like, you know what, I don't really like it either. And she quit it, and now she despises it. Because she understands what it's doing. It's taking. It's taking. It's taking money, it's taking health, it's taking all that good stuff. And it doesn't benefit our babies or us or our lifestyle whatsoever. So that was one of my rules, and I was breaking it. And that's gonna happen, guys. You guys are gonna have a rule and you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna break it. And you're going to break it for what reason, right? Because you're negotiating with yourself now. Because it's your rule. Is it worth it to break it? Do you see something on the other side of breaking that rule that is going to benefit you? Because in a negotiation, you don't negotiate unless there's something on the other side of the negotiation that's going to benefit. So if you're selling yourself, you need to have the payout on the other side of that, right? What is the payout? And I saw a future with Sherry, so I broke the rule. I broke my own rule, and now, almost 8 years later, Sherry has a degree in nursing. She was an EMT. She even went and passed the test at the Phoenix PD. She was going to be a cop at one point, just to do it, kind of. And she got injured during the physical test. But she just got licensed, certified to do injections and stuff like that, for the pretty girl stuff, that girls like to do, Botox and all that stuff. And so her life's changed drastically too, and she's been negotiating with herself this whole time. And we talked about nursing school way before she actually did it. And then she said, you know what? Let's not have a baby. Let's not do this. Let's do the nursing school. She spent 3 freaking grueling years in nursing school. It was totally fucking stressful and crazy and everything else. And I worked my ass off during the process. She worked at Unhooked. I don't know if you guys have ever been there for a long time during that, where she was a BHT, a peer support. She went from the bottom all the way to the caseworker at that place and really loved that job. But just because you love something don't mean you don't freaking stretch away from it and go and do something that you love even more. Now she saves people's lives and she does all that good stuff in nursing, and it's just another story of negotiation and sales, right? She sold herself on a better life, right? And so the payoffs on the other end is the better life, right? Yeah. And so, guys, I guess the real secret there is very simple. It's what I said from the beginning. Smile like you love it And you know, when she's going to nursing school, when I'm doing all these classes, when I'm in trenches digging, I'm digging because I want to make more, right? So when I was making $15 an hour, and I explained this multiple times coming here, I was digging like I was making $115 an hour. Does anybody know what that looks like? Yeah. It looks like a freak of nature. Because if you're a badass digger, in my mind, you're the guy that I'm already in my mind saying, I'm going to put this guy in a COO position at my company. He's going to run my company someday. And I know this because digging is number one, people that dig that way are grateful. They're grateful to be there. And I know that, right? So they're going to be grateful for any place that I put them in my company. Hey, I don't want you digging. I hear that from my partners all the time. I heard you were digging for 10 hours. And one of the guys that left this class, Gabe, he's not here tonight. I told him to come here, but he works for me. And we were working recently. They know Gabe. They all loved Gabe. And they thought he was a great guy. And I did too. That's why I hired him. And so Gabe works for me. He works for my HVAC company. And we just parted ways with a $3 million contract, a $3 million a year contract with a cannabis company where we were doing all their HVAC. Because me and the guy didn't see eye to eye. And I was like, well, I don't need $3 million from a guy that I don't appreciate and I don't see eye to eye with. I'm not gonna spend my days arguing and having people talk to my employees funny and this and that. So he was really busy on that project, and I pulled him off it. And now I got him working with plumbers and doing HVAC. He's kind of splitting between the two worlds, which is fucking a great situation for him. Me and him ended up on a job the other day, and I wanted it done that day. And so there's only one way for me to ensure that it gets done, and it's do it myself, you know? And even though I had plumbers there, I'm not gonna take nothing from them, but I'm that guy that digs like I'm freaking nuts, you know? And he's in there trying, he was getting wore out, you know what I mean? And I said, Gabe, look, this is what it is right here. You gotta put your soul on it like it's everything to you, like it means everything to you. Because guys, listen, your job is the most important relationship you could get right now. Whatever you guys do outside of this, whatever company you go work for, the relationship you have with that company, the people you work for, and the actual job, because you have a relationship with the things you do. You either love it or hate it. If you can live with it and hate it, then great. If you love it, you're not really working anymore, you know? So you guys get that, right? You guys have all heard that. So part of this, guys, is I never got away from my workout, right? I never got away from my workout, and I always talk about the burpees. Who Speedy's still, he said he's still doing his burpees. I don't know if he is.
It was 10 burpees birthday.
But so I always talk about the burpees. So who was in prison when burpees were like kind of a mandatory thing, right? You see the groups on the yard, right? This group, right? So a lot of you guys think, oh yeah, it's a show of power, and I guess it probably was, right? Who's doing the burpees the loudest? Who has the most people out there doing the burpees and all this kind of, I guess it kind of is a little war chant, whatever you guys want to call it. But you know what it really is, guys? It's commitment. Come out here and commit yourself to me, because I want you to come and do burpees and show your commitment to me. So it's not a group power thing. It's one guy saying, this is the rule on the yard, and come and commit to me. It's pretty powerful, because he feels really powerful when 20 guys show up. And he feels disappointed and weak when only 5 show up. And it happens. It happens to guys running yards. I know. I ran almost every yard I was on. And so when I would be out there running, I would run 30-mile runs on the days nobody showed up, just so they can see me limping off the rec field alone when nobody showed up. That was my, okay, I'll do it to myself today, guys. You guys didn't show up. So the reason for that is that commitment is so important. Out here, we do this stuff alone, right? Because who's more important to be committed to? But us, but yourself. So you wake up, you do something isolated that's hard as a commitment to yourself, an ode to you and what you think about yourself, right? And I get into it every time I come here because about how important you guys are. I wear a hat that says bad motherfucker. Who has an issue seeing a guy with a hat that says bad motherfucker on it? Who's like, who the fuck's this fucking dude?
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, it's like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Right? So, and I'll tell you who I am. I'm a bad motherfucker. Seriously. And so are all of you. You guys either just don't know it yet or haven't experienced exactly how badass you really are, right? So I wear this hat. And I always tell the story too because it's important. I have a belt buckle about that big that says it, gold and silver belt buckle that says it. And Sherry had it made for me, so she knows that I'm a bad motherfucker too. So what have I done? I've sold that right to the world. My son, even though he's a little asshole right now, my stepson, he won't even listen to Yellow Wolf. Because Yellow Wolf talks about working so hard, and he said, this guy doesn't really work, not like my pops. That's what he says. So we don't even listen to the song anymore that he talks about putting his boots on and working, because he's a fraud. He's not putting his boots on and working. And I know it's metaphoric and all that stuff, and a lot of stuff is, guys. But the workout's important, guys. And the workout is the medicine. And I'm telling you right now, if you're the best version of you, like, me and Sherry work out a lot, right? And she just had a baby 9 months ago, and she's at jiu-jitsu every week. She's in the and then she does fight conditioning, which is totally fucked. And then she does her own workouts alone in the gym with the baby. She takes the baby to the gym every day. So she never worked out like back then, right? But she has committed that to herself to have that health and that nutrition in her life, because it's so important. When you look in somebody's eyes and you say, I love you, or I'm going to be your best employer or employee, you cannot be that person unless you're the best version of yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. It has to do with confidence. On the way up here, I was thinking, God, my wife is the most beautiful person, inside and out, guys. This is not just what you guys are seeing face value. I think people that have spoke to her, people that know her, know that she's the most beautiful inside and out. And I bring that up. She's sitting right here. I want you guys to understand that she's doing it inside and out. So I know when she tells me something, it's golden. It's golden, because she is already the best version of herself right now. Will she be better tomorrow? Absolutely, because she's going to hit a class tomorrow. I think she's got jiu-jitsu tomorrow. So she'll be not only will she be a better jiu-jitsu person, but she'll be in better shape, and her mind will be better too, right? So when you are like unstoppable, because your employer says, hey, how'd you get here so early? My gym's right there. I just came from the gym, just did freaking 2 hours on freaking chest and legs. Your employer's like, okay. And if nobody else is talking about that, let me just tell you, you are the next guy for the race. Let me just tell you straight the fuck up. I own multiple businesses, and I got dozens of employees, and I'm going to tell you right now, the guys that go to the gym, I'm always waiting for a position to put them in. So, guys, understand that. Working's important too, though, guys. Do the stuff for your mind. I sit in the morning before my workout, I sit and I try to turn my mind off. People call it meditation, whatever. Trying to turn this mind off right here is it's like climbing fucking Mount Everest, guys. Because my mind never fucking stops. Who's got that problem? Okay. The medicine is the workout, right? The answer to being able to turn your mind off is be okay with turning your mind off. Be okay with just being alone and not having anything happen for a couple minutes. Be mindful of your space and who you are and everything else, and take it in. If you got to listen to music during it, it's so important. If you can turn your mind off for a snap, it's like fucking taking a fucking 12-hour nap. I swear to God, I do it every morning, and it's work, guys. It took me my whole prison sentence to learn how to do it. I just started learning it towards the end, but guys, be in charge of your mind. Do maintenance on your mind. If you start stressing out about something, go find somebody to talk to if you can't solve the problem that can help you to solve the problem. And with that point, I'm going to make another point. Don't fucking sit across from some joker across the table at Chow that tells you what to do unless you know for a fact he's done it. In anything you do, guys, Do not fucking have, listen, if I want tile fucking advice, I'm gonna go over to fucking Speedy and ask him, guys. Because I'm not a tiler, nor will I ever be. I don't have the patience for tile, and I know that. If I need tile done, Speedy just went and fucking looked at a job fucking this week for me. Because I'm not a tile guy. I refuse to do it. I will not do it. Do not ask fucking somebody that's fucking 450 pounds, how do I get in shape? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Right? Go to somebody that's in shape. My second day on the yard, I did this right here. JT was with me. I did this right here. I found the toughest guy on the yard, the guy that was the most ripped. Fucking never forget this guy. He tormented me for 3 fucking years as my workout partner. He was the baddest motherfucker on the yard. Steve Bishop. Fucking some of you guys might know him. Tennessee Peckerwood. Fucking, that's what he called himself. And that dude tormented my body and my mind for fucking 3 years and got me in the best shape of my life. But I knew enough to know that I'm not going to go ask the guys that are smoking the weed out on the parallel bars, hey, guys, can you help me with the workout? I asked the guy that wasn't talking to nobody, had the biggest chest, biggest arms, fucking yoked ass legs, and didn't talk to nobody. In fact, never talked to nobody but me and barely talked to me for 3 years. You know? The only time he talked to me is when I bring a tuna sandwich over, a tuna bagel over. I'm like, hey, thanks for the fucking help on the workout, you know? So guys, during that time of stress and during those times, and you're gonna get them, guys, it's called post-incarceration PTSD. You guys are all gonna get it. You can ask Sherry, I still call her to this day. I'll fucking break down crying. 8 years later, I break down crying uncontrollably. I have no clue why. It's been happening for 8 years. It was way worse in the beginning, guys, but it's gotten better, you know. And I used to just go on a long-ass run, or I'd call my old workout partner. He was out, and we were doing some business together. Levi, I'd call him, and I'd say, I'm just going to go on a run. But he talked me all the way until I had all my gear on, and I was running. You know, he talked me all the way up to there. He knew I was safe if I was running, right? But I'm going to tell you guys, this post-incarceration PTSD got me. And you guys are fresh out. You guys are, who's fresh out? Like 30 days less. I mean, you guys still smell like the prison. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, all right? You guys are still fucking wondering why the white toilets are so fucking warm compared to the metal ones. You know what I mean? You guys, there's a lot of little things, right? You guys probably haven't even done this yet, but who's fucking put their bare feet on carpet? That's fucking nice, right? 17 years my feet didn't touch carpet, dude. I was so happy to be able to do that. You guys are still leaving doors open. Who does that? You guys are still leaving water on. I moved in my brother's house. They said, you never shut doors. Well, no shit. I haven't shut doors for 17 years. Right? So that brings me to my next point. I talked to you guys about staying on W-2 and getting paid on the books with a check and paying taxes. And I'm going to tell you why. On my 2nd year anniversary, me and Sherry put our money together, put our minds together, and on my 2nd year anniversary of getting out of prison, we got the keys to our own house. We had a 4-acre little ranch, little 2,000 square foot house, just our little paradise, nestled at the fucking base of the Santana Mountains. 2 years to the day. You know how much credit and how much payroll you have to show to buy a house? 2 years. But I was able to do that through some freaking creative freaking bullshit that I did. I was able to show 2 years of pay. And we got the keys to our own house. And you know what? You can leave all the doors you want open at your own house. You pay the electric bill. You know what I mean? And the most important thing is, I held the fucking key. I held the key for once. That's the goal, guys. And it's not just the key to the house. That's a metaphoric statement, guys. You hold the key right now. Right now. 8 years later, I don't even know what I make. I don't even know what my income is, guys. I don't think do we even know? We don't even know what my income is. Sometimes my income's $40,000 a week. I don't even know, guys. I don't know what I'm going to pay myself next week. And I started out exactly where you guys are, only. I had $151, no place to live. You know, really, I lived in a bedroom, you know, like at my brother's house. It sucked. Fucking, it just sucked, right? And I was respectful of my finances. When we got money, we have a rule. We don't spend, more than 10% of what we have in our bank account, right? We were very careful to do that. We broke that rule many times for Christmas and things like that, guys. But that's a rule you guys all should be living by. Put it in your head. If somebody, a family member, gives you guys $500, hey, you guys need money, here's $500. Well, you can't spend more than $50. Does everybody agree on that? To save their lives, would you guys agree to do that? Yeah. That will save your lives, guys. You know, now we get nervous if we don't have fucking 6 figures in the bank. We get nervous, right? I won't, you know, a guy gave me a Harley Davidson the other day. You know, a buddy of mine gave me a Harley Davidson. I'm like, all I can think about is what the fucking it's gonna cost me in insurance. You know, I was like, it's gonna fucking cost me in insurance. And then Sherry said, you know what, you don't buy yourself anything. Hook that fucking thing up. So I sent it, got it all customized. Now it's fucking chopped out, it fucking looks badass and everything else, and it's exactly what I wanted. And I spent very little on it. I would have never bought myself a Harley Davidson. And it's one of those things. Why does stuff like that happen? Universal law, guys. Give every bit of yourself. Negotiate with the universe, guys. Negotiate with the universe. Because who hurt people going to prison? And I don't mean physically, I mean all of the above. Who hurt people? Who left behind people that were disappointed, hurt? Okay, so you guys proved you can do that. Now prove that you can keep from hurting people. Prove that you can frickin' show them the other side of you, right? Because I know, guys, it took a lot of violence, and a lot of fucking crazy shit to become this peaceful. I'm not super peaceful, but I'm pretty peaceful. It took a lot of violence. Sherry doesn't even like some of these stories, but sometimes I have to get them off. You know what I mean? Sometimes I have to tell a story about a guy's eye socket getting busted or whatever. Because sometimes I have to get it out of me. You know what I mean? Because I was there, I was that violent guy, inside and out. More violent outside than I was inside. But I could go either way, it didn't matter to me. You know? Now it all matters to me. It all matters to me. And I don't care what you look like. I don't care how many tattoos you got. I got guys that have come from here that got tattoos all over their face. The dude, Richard, that came from here, I don't know if you guys remember Richard Jones, but he came from here. He's going to do $150,000 this year, guys. Never did the job he's doing. I fucking threw him in a van and said, I trust you, dude. You've showed up every day. He negotiated with me. He fucking showed up every day. He called me when he was stressing, crying, saying, Kenny, you told me to call you. I know it's 9 o'clock at night, man. I know you're probably in bed. And I was. And he said, I need to talk to you, man. I'm having some issues with this and that. And I talked him down and everything else. The guy's fucking, I think his check this week was $8,500. He's only been out of here like 9 months, guys. He's only been out of here like 9 months. I love the dude. I'm very hard on him, to be honest though. I'm very hard on him. Why? Because these guys give their lives to this program. These guys that are in here, I talk to these guys a lot. I talk to Giles, I talk to Speedy, I talk to fucking Joel, I talk to Justin, I talk to Batty, I talk to all these guys all the time. They're all my buddies, man. We were either on the yard together or we've just formed a family, right? And these guys care about you guys. So don't ever say nobody cares about you guys, right? Because these motherfuckers call me telling me how much they care about you guys. And it's not some like, I care about people, look at me. That's not what's happening. Like, I'm not a fucking fool. I'm a profiler. I spent 17 years in fucking prison. I can profile everything, everybody. Ask my wife. Somebody comes in, I'm like, that fucking dude's lying. Bet you anything, blah. And it ends up coming true, am I right? I profile everybody because that's what we do. It's an innate ability for people that are in dangerous situations to figure out what people are and what their motives are without talking to them, right? You know a guy's dangerous and you know a guy's not to be trusted as he's walking up to you, right? That's why I never got fucking slid with the handshake fucking move. I'll shake your hand when I know you. You know, I'll shake, and that's what this world is too, guys. Get out there. Get to know people. Become that guy where people want to shake your hand. People want to shake my hand. You know why? Because I'm going to give them all of me. I'm going to give them all of me because I don't need me anymore. Right? I give my wife and my family all of me. You can ask JT. I told him, whenever you're ready, man, I'm going to help you. Whenever you're ready. I've told all of these guys. I've told Speedy, I don't live for me anymore. And when you guys get to that point, when you guys get to the point where now you're just living for everybody else, it's true freedom, guys. Total freedom, guys. You have no responsibility but to just be you at that point. And that's what I do, right? I'm still fucking digging like I want to make $115 an hour, right? But wait a minute. I stopped making $115 an hour years ago. Right? But I'm still that guy, like I just want to fucking be the best. I want to be the best. For me. For me. And now that that's a process, I don't have to do it for me anymore, guys. Because now I can do it for everybody in this room, and all the people that aren't in this room, and the guys that I've pulled out of alleys, and taken down to CBI, picked up at CBI, taken to Crossroads, and now they're fucking making fucking $100,000 a year at their career. But they were dying the day before I found them, begging me to fucking come. And I came, and I will. And that's what I do, right? But you guys can get there too, right? And it all starts with being the $15 an hour digger, right? Who would dig ditches for $15 an hour right now to stay free? Who wants to stay free? Who wants to stay out of prison? So everybody that's been to prison in this room wants to stay out of prison. So that's your word, right? That's an unspoken thing. I love when people say, "Hell, that's my word." Wait a minute. If you said it, it should be your word, right? So that's your guys' word, right? Do you guys, who breaks their word on a regular basis? Who will admit that? Do you? That's good that you'll admit that. That's good that you'll admit that. Because I do it to myself too. I'm gonna fucking be here in such and such time and whatever. And if I'm fucking 15 minutes late, or if I don't show up, I'm breaking my word. And I fucking despise that. But it happens, guys. It happens. And you know what? What do? Beat yourself up over it? No, fuck no. It's just one of those things that you say, okay, I broke my word. Now you get back in the fucking line and you fucking walk like you walk every single day. And so your process, guys, and my process has been the same. Since $15 an hour, I've been doing the same thing. If you guys just get your job, get out, get with one of these contractors, do your $15 an hour like you're making $115 an hour, do your negotiation with the world, do your sell to the world, and become something, guys. Listen, I never thought I'd have fucking multi-million-dollar companies under my belt. And waking up with a beautiful wife and a beautiful little baby and stepson in a house on the mountain. You know, I never in a million years thought it would happen until I started thinking it would happen. You guys get that? And when I started thinking it would happen, it started happening. So guys, listen, like I said, I know you guys have violent pasts and all this other kind of crazy shit and all that, and there's a lot of shit that you're like, I can't forgive myself for, I don't deserve this. Bullshit. That was your contraction phase. Your prison time was a contraction phase. When you leave a contraction phase in your life, it's expansion time, guys. Growth starts the time you leave a contraction phase, right? Expansion, contraction. It's going to be your whole life. You're going to get into times, and we do, where we're like, fuck, this life's heavy. And then we lift it off our shoulders and we go on. Guys, I don't have much time to talk to you guys, but I like to get out whatever I can for you guys. Does anybody have any questions for me at all? What's up, man?
Yeah, see, I'm kind of like you, so I've been out. I'm going out for 4 years, been out of prison. Going out for 4 years. This is my stepdaughter right here. She's also doing the program. I was with her mom for 4 years, and everything being like me, you know, wanting to come back and staying clean. I feel like everything's, you know, starting to come back to me. I'm starting to build a relationship with my stepdaughter, and you know, get that relationship going with her mom.
Yeah.
And I'm actually proud of myself, man. And now I got myself into framing, which I was doing, you know, I was a handyman with my boss. My boss had, you know, his boss owns a couple of acres, and on one of the acres, he has grass, and that's what he'll do. He'll build stuff. He kind of did like a little bit of framing to teach you.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I want to do for my life.
Yeah. What's up?
So when do we start?
Whenever you're ready.
Right now.
You go through this.
Start tomorrow?
Yeah, are you ready to work? Look, go through this program, guys. Listen, that's another thing I didn't say, and I'm glad you just reminded me, because when I got out of prison, I was in a hurry. I'm still in a hurry. But my brother told me very simply, slow the fuck down, dude. And guys, slow down. All you need is a job, a way to get to work, and a place to sleep at night, getting ready for the next day. That's the only 3 things you guys need to stay free. I promise you, if you have those things and you take the job, most important. The job is most important. If you find the perfect wife, like I did, by all means, don't skip that fucking part of your life. By any means. By any means, don't do that. But take heed in the fact that the job, money, guys. I don't care what anybody says in this fucking world. They say, oh, fucking money doesn't buy happiness. That motherfucker was broke. Because are we able to do more for other people? We're happier because we can do for people and we can do for ourselves, and we're not worried anymore like I was as a kid counting pennies and stuff. Guys, save your money, work hard for anybody that hires you, be grateful. Be grateful and show your gratefulness. And don't forget, you're always in a negotiation. So when we talk, I don't want to hear anything about prison, because you guys all said you guys came from prison. That means you're no longer there anymore. So when we talk, it's about, I'm willing to do anything. And you look me in the eyes. I'm the guy for the job. Because you are the guy for the job if you say it. The world is as you see it. So guys, be that. Every person in here, walk into an interview. I don't know which one of these guys are contractors or who's going to be hiring you or whatever, but they'd be fools not to hire a guy that says, I'll work a day for you for free if you just want to watch me work. I've done that a bunch of times in my life. I've never been told no on a job like that. And I'll work my ass off for free. I did it in prison for fucking 17 years. So who gives a fuck, you know? But anyway, guys, I appreciate your guys' time.